Welcome my dear students. Last class we have learned about this fscanf and fprintf. As we know, what is the usage of fscanf? Fscanf is used to access the content in an open file. And what about the fprintf? It is used to store the content in an open file, right? Yes. So that is a very important question. You have to give more attention on that. Now we will focus on next topic. This is also a very important topic, error handling with files. Okay, let us see what are the errors happens in your files. Okay, while working with files, following errors may arrive. Let us see what are the errors will be arrive while we are working with files. Trying to read a file behind the end of a file mark. If you want to access the file out of the end of a mark, end of the mark means if it is even if it is a finish, if you want to try to access the file, it is just like as a book which has finished. If you want to access that finished book, completed book, can you able to access? No. Can you write? No. You have to take new book, right? In the same sense, okay. If you want to access the file out of a end of a mark, it is not possible. It will give an error. Trying to read data from a file that is opened in write mode. If you have opened the file in write mode, if you try to access the data, read the data, then it will automatically give error. So whenever you have opened in the write mode, reading is not possible. Whenever you are open in the read mode, writing is not possible. Okay, yes. So trying to write data to a file that is opened in read mode, so it is quite opposite. If you have opened the file in read mode, you are unable to store the data in that file. That means write means to store, read means to access. Got it? Trying to open a file that has not been opened. If the file is not opened, even if you are trying, then it is also treated as an error. These kinds of possible errors available in your files concept. Okay, these errors can be detected using file error handling functions like feof, ferror, clear error. So if you want to handle any kind of error using in a files, then these built-in functions has to be used. Okay, what is f end of? feof of file end of a file. Okay, file end of a file, file error, clear error functions. Let us see about them. So in 2 marks questions, these questions are there, so you have to give more attention on this. Okay, now f end of a file. Okay, feof stands for f end of a file. After opening a file, the file content can be read. Okay, after open the file, what we can do? We can access the file. Read means we can access. While reading content, we may encounter file end of a file mark. So while accessing the file in the reading content, reading mode, we may encounter the file end of a file mark. It means we are reaching the end of a file. Okay, there may be possible. This end of a file is detected using the function feof function. Then how to identify this end of a file mark? By using this feof function. Okay, the main usage of feof of a function is to identify the end of a mark of a file. Okay, let us see the syntax. feof of fp. So it gives, we are checking whether the file is come to the end or not. Okay, so here it is suggested. This function returns a true value when end of a file mark is found, otherwise returns false. So when it will returns the true, whenever the file comes to the end of a file mark, then at that time it will returns true, otherwise it will returns false. Okay, so that is your first function, and second function is ferror function. Let us see what is the ferror function. This function returns a true value when the programmer attempts the following. See, this ferror function will returns the true value whenever the programmer, now who is the programmer? We, right? As we know how to write the coding, how to write the C program, how to use the function, how to use the arrays, how to use the structures, how to use the pointers, right? Now onwards you are the programmer. whenever the programmer try to attempt the following, so error function on the file will be possible in these cases. Let us see what are those cases. Trying to read data from a file that is opened in write mode. Even if you have opened the file in write mode, if you try to access the data, read data, it is not possible, so automatically it gives an error. Trying to write data to a file that is opened in a read mode. If even if you try to write the data file in a open mode in read mode, you have opened a file in a read mode, if you want to store the data, then automatically it gives an error. Okay, trying to open a file that has not been opened, even if the file has not opened, if you try to open that, then it is also gives an error. Okay, then what is the syntax of f error function? The f error function is f error of fp, f error of fp. Fp is always open file. Okay, it points to the open file. Got it? Yes. Next, our function is clear error function. This function clears the error status detected by f error. So this function will work on the basis of f error function. Okay, if f error is identified, then on the basis of the status of that error, it will clears. Then what is its syntax? Clear error, clear err of fp. Okay, so it is purely based on f error function. Got it? Yes, according to the status of f error function. Okay, and next our topic is randomly accessing file. All the files input or output, I bar o stands for input or output function, used so far read or write files sequentially from the beginning of the file. If you are using the file, then you are using some input and output functions to use it to store or to access. Reading means to access, writing means to store a file sequentially from the beginning of the file. So you are accessing the file through from the sequential means in order. Okay, sometimes we need to read or write data to or from some part of the file. So sometimes it requires we have to read the data or write the data to and from some part of a file. Some part of a file means it may be in the middle, or it may be in the end, or it may be anywhere. Okay, this can be achieved using function like ftell, fseek, rewind. So wherever we want to wish to store the data in middle in a file, at that time this random accessing file functions are used. Okay, so what are the functions we are having? ftell, fseek, rewind. It is just like as a, you know what is a rewind, right? And fseek and ftell. Let us see ftell, fseek and rewind. Let us see what is a ftell. This function gives the current position of the file pointer within the opened file. For example, if I open this file, any new file, okay, just for your understanding purpose, you are seeing this is the my pointer, insertion point, right? It is appearing here, right? Got it? So to identify that, then what we are doing, we are using this ftell function. This function gives the current position of the file pointer. For example, now if I click here, what happens? My current file pointer location is exists here. I can modify, right, by typing some information. Got it? Clear? Yes. Likewise, by using this ftell function, I can able to identify the current position of the file pointer with an opened file. Then what is its syntax? N is equal to ftell of fp. So here n is an integer variable. In this integer variable, we are going to be used to store file pointer position. Okay, yes. So ftell of fp, ftell of fp means fp is always an open file. So if you are using this ftell function, then you are identifying the current position of a pointer. So here we are identifying the current pointer position. If I click here, it will come here. If I click here, it will come here, right? So this is possible because of this ftell function. Okay, next, fseek function. This function is used to move the file pointer to a specified location within the open file. So last we have told that current position pointer. Now if you have seen just now, if I click here, here, I'm making the movement of my current position pointer. This is possible because of this F6 function. Okay, yes, this function is used to move the file pointer to a specified location with an opened file. Okay, but what is the usage of ftl? I can identify now by using this ftl function. I can identify the current pointer position is in this location. Then if I want to make the movement of this file pointer location to this location, then I have to use this f6 function. Okay, now let us see what is the syntax of f6 function. Okay, here f6 of fp is an open file, offset and start point. So here offset and start point is exist. Let us see what is that. Okay, file pointer, fp is a file pointer, not a, okay, offset. A number can be positive or negative or 0, specifies the number of a position of the file pointer fp to be moved from the position specified by the starting point. So as we know, whenever we open a file, your current position pointer will resides here, right? If I click here, what happens? It has to come here, right? So I am making plus increment value. Got it? Plus increment value. If I make here, I am making minus incrementation value. So for whom I am doing? For this current position pointer starting point plus or minus values. Okay, so please observe this offset. A number can be positive or negative or maybe 0, specifies number of a position the file pointer fp to be moved from the position specified by start point. Okay, suppose if I click here, what happens? It will take as a negative. If I click forward, then what happens? It will take positive value. Got it? So whenever I open a file, let us see, I'm already having here, I'm opening my 13th chapter. So you are identifying here, right? So it is the starting position of my file pointer location. If I click here, it will come. Then what is the value? Positive value of this location to this. Then how it is moving here? By using f6 function. Okay, if I click here, it is a negative value. So whenever I am open here, that current position pointer is 0. Catching my point? Yes. So it is just like as tune up, right? What do you mean by tune up? You are using the TV remotes. Your favorite channel is resides in somewhere location, right? Then what you will do? You are pressing 653 as a G Kannada, 658 as a Colors Kannada, like that, right? Or your Star Plus, your favorite channel. So then what you are doing? You are seeking your channel either positive or negative, to the current position pointer. Got it? So whenever you are making the movement in the TV remote channel, you are identifying this, right? Where these exact applications are using. We are using these applications in your TV remotes, in your washing machines, in your air conditions, or in your remote control systems. All these are working based on these functions. Okay, okay. So let us see. Now let us see starting point. Starting point can take the following values. If offset is positive, file pointer moves forward. If it is negative, file pointer moves backward. Starting point, if offset value is positive, means it will move forward direction. If it is negative, means it is moving backward direction. And let us see what is the starting point. What is the starting point can take the value. 0 indicates the beginning of the file, 1 indicates the current position, 2 indicates the end of the file. So here the start point is exist. Here the start point 0 indicates the beginning, 1 indicates the current position, 2 indicates the end of the file. Let us check. Here some examples are there. F6 of fp00. So 00 means fp move to the beginning of the file. So it is beginning. Okay, beginning of the file. Now f6 of fp 0, 1 indicates current position. fp stays at the current position. Okay, f6 of fp 0, 2. So fp moves to the end of the file. Okay, so here this is the end of our file. Here it ends. So automatically it will say as this is the end of our file. Got it? And now f6 fp, n, 0 fp moves n byte forward from the beginning of the file. Here n indicates either forward direction or backward direction. So n bytes forward or n bytes backward. Now fseek of fp minus n 1. Let us see what is this. fp minus n 1. fp moves bytes n bytes backward from the beginning of the file. Okay, so it moves minus n is always indicates backward from the beginning of the file. Okay, and fseek fp of minus n comma 2 indicates the end of the file. Okay, so it moves through from the end of the file to backward. Okay, so this is about your randomly accessing file. In this class we have learned about error handling files. Those are the f end of, f error of, clear error of. This question is asked in your previous question paper, so you have to give more attention on this. Please go through it, and this is a very important topic. Also fseek ftell is also very important topic. It has asked in your previous question papers. So that is the end of our files. Here we comes the end of our entire portion. Okay, our portion has completed. If you have any information, it is beginning. Yes, yes, this is the beginning. Okay, okay, so that is the end of our chapter 16 files. Here we comes the end of our entire syllabus. Okay, so this file concept is a very important. Fprintf and fscanf is also important. Please go through your previous question paper. You will find getw and putw is important. Getc is important in your first chapter as well, first unit as well as final unit. And operations on file is also very important. These are the operations of files. Okay, opening a file, closing a files, accessing a file, right? And these are the types of files. What is a file is also very important. Here we comes the end of chapter 16. Hope you understand any this concept. If you have any doubt, please put the questions. If you have any doubts, please ask us. See you in the next class. Thank you. In the next class we will have your lab program explanation, so don't miss it. You have to give more attention on your labs also.